Hello everyone, how are you all? I hope you all people doing good. So in this video lesson, we are learning the next page of the lesson, the dying detective. So this page starts with Holmes asking Watson to place the ivory box on the table and slide bit of thongs, and also he asked to put the thongs on the table, and already I told you what are the thongs in the last class. Now he asked Watson to fetch Mr. Colorone Smith of 13 Lower Burke Street. Okay, you can shortly remember that he was Smith. Okay, next. Now we'll start with I was hesitant to leave him. Now he was delirious. So hesitant means who is telling this? Watson is telling this. He was hesitant to leave him. He Holmes asked Watson to get him, but Holmes seems very weak, and also it seems that Holmes cannot last one more night. So Watson did not want to leave Holmes, but Holmes insists Watson to leave him and bring Mr. Smith. Okay, so delirious means he's in a confused way of mind. I have never heard of the name, I said. Well, he is a man who has knowledge of this disease, but he is not a medical man. He is a planter. I didn't want you to go before 6 because you wouldn't have found him in his study. I hope you will be able to persuade him to come. You tell him exactly how you left me, he said. You must tell him that I am dying. Plead him with Watson, he said. So now Watson says, I never heard the name of that man. But what Holmes says, well, he is a man who has knowledge of this disease. Okay, so already we learned that what type of disease he is experienced or he is suffered with or he is diagnosed with. He says, Holmes says that he is not a medical doctor or something. He is a planter. Okay, he just have knowledge about this only, not any other diseases. He lives in Sumatra, but he is visiting London now. Okay, he lives in Sumatra, but he is visiting London now. I don't want you to go before 6 because you don't want to go before 6. You won't find him in his home if you go before 6. That's why I ask you to go after 6 because you wouldn't find him in a study. I hope you will persuade him to come. Persuade means what? You will force him or you will tell him a situation or you will make him to come. That's what persuading means what? The man who don't get any interest to do some things, but someone will come and tell you and he will convince you to do that work. Okay, so that's what we say persuade. You will tell him exactly how you left me. He said, okay, you must tell him that I'm dying. So plead him, Watson. He instructed. I'll bring him in cab, I said. No, you will persuade him to come and return before him. Make any excuse. Remember this, Watson. Now, what Watson says, you don't worry. I'll bring him in cab as soon as possible, and I'll leave him or drop him again to his home. He said. But what Holmes says, no, 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 no. You just inform that I'm dying. Let him come and go, and you don't come along with him. Okay, so make some excuse that you got some other work. Okay, just I ask you to inform that I'm dying, so he will visit me. Okay, he said. I saw Mr. Hodgson's waiting outside, trembling and crying below as I waited for the cab. Okay, Mrs. Hudson. Okay, she's waiting outside the room, crying. Trembling means or shivering. Below, as I waited for the cab, I met the Inspector Morton of Scotland Yard. He was not in the uniform. How is he? Asked Inspector Morton. He is very ill, I answered. I think you can understand this. I reached Mrs. Culverton Smith's house. The butler appeared at the doorway. So he stayed there through the half open door. The door is not fully open, it is half open. I heard a man's voice telling butler, I'm not at home, says so. I pushed past the butler and entered the room. Okay, so someone is calling him, but he himself says that he is not at home. he is away, don't come inside home. He's just hearing the conversation between the two people, okay, the smith and some other one. I saw a frail man, weak man, with bald head sitting. I'm sorry, I said, but the matter can't be delayed, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. So I'm sorry, I just came inside without your permission. So if I couldn't come inside, the matter is very serious. You have to hear it and you have to react for it. He is telling uh, to that Smith about Holmes. Now, after hearing that name, the mere mention of his name had different effect on the man. Okay, so after hearing a name itself, it seems something different, and it finds something different in his face. How you come from Holmes? How is he? He asked. He is very ill. That is why I have come. Mrs. Holmes has high opinion of you and thought you are the only man in London who can help him. The little man startled. Why? He asked. Before of your knowledge of Eastern disease, I replied. How did he get it? He asked. I told him everything. He smiled and agreed to come, pretending that I had some other appointment. Pretending means what? So what Holmes said to Watson that you should not come along with Smith. You have to make some excuse that you got some other work to do. So let him come alone and go to his home. Right? So here what he says pretending means he don't have any other work, but he says that he got some other appointment, so he left him. With a sinking heart that I reached Holmes' room. I told him that Mrs. Smith was coming. So what he said, pretending that he got work. So he came back to Holmes' room and he just stayed inside some other room inside the house. Well done, Watson, he replied. You have done everything that a good friend could do. Now you disappear to the next room. Disappear means what? What he says? Okay, you have done everything what I said and a good friend can do. Now you don't stay here back. You just go and stay in the next room. Okay, where you can approach or see me or hear what the conversation is going on inside my room. And don't speak or come here. Okay, guys. So we have completed page number 191. We can learn the remaining part in the next class. Hope you people follow the lessons. Thank you, children.